I am the spokesperson to Minister Gayton Mckenzie. We'll be starting in the next few minutes. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you very much for your indulgence, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. My name is Stacey Kujani. As I've stated, I'm the spokesperson to Minister Gayton Mckenzie, and the press conference is about the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture portfolio. We are joined by the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Mr. Gayton Mckenzie, and also the Deputy Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Ms. Mabe. So today, the Minister will be delivering a statement on the department's portfolio. Some of it was also shared in the media advisory to members of the media. And thereafter, we will be having a Q&A session, question and answer session, where members of the media are then invited to come and ask questions, and Minister and Deputy Minister will answer. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Mr. Gayton Mckenzie.
It's so short. Deputy Minister, Mabe, the DG Stella Kumalo, and all the DDGs that are present, thank you. And members of the media, you are welcome. Good afternoon, it's still good morning. Good morning, members of the media, colleagues and fellow South Africans. Before we start, I was in the news yesterday, and I think it's just proper that I answer, because I saw my name everywhere. I was in the news yesterday where Action SA said that I have hidden my traveling cost, where Mashaba and all these people were posting that I've hidden the traveling cost. I just want to put it categorically here that I've not done that. I've given them all the places I traveled to. I've also given them money, and they said that Deputy Minister also hid the cost. We've done no such a thing. We've given Parliament all the information. Parliament this morning apologized because they didn't send the attachment that we sent. So just as you know, members of the media that and South Africans, that we did give everything when we were asked about it. There was no intention to hide our traveling cost, and Parliament has apologized to us that it was a new person working there that didn't send attachment. But while I'm on the traveling cost, I think I must also do something which I personally think ministers should have done a long time ago. You know, and I want to ask the media, every time opposition parties want to be relevant, they speak about the minister, like in my case, they said luxury travel. Yesterday I saw luxury travel. There's nothing luxury about most of this, if not all of the work that we are doing. And I want to make members of the media aware of 3 quick points, and then I'll go to my statement today. When you deal with people that don't understand input and output cost, it becomes a problem. people in Action SA don't understand. Because LIV Golf, we probably spend between 1 and 2 million on flights, hotel cost. That was the input. The output, it's R1 billion in our economy. That's my first point. The second thing that ministers don't want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it today. When we get our traveling schedule, we want to cry sometimes. This is not, you cannot equate, politicians, certain politicians are equating a flight with luxury. There's nothing luxury about a flight. I'll make you 2 examples. I was told by the president I have to attend G20 in Brazil. I flew from South Africa to Dubai, from Dubai to Brazil. I think it took me 21 hours. I was there for 6 hours in Brazil. I didn't stay in a hotel. And I had to fly back the same evening, the same 21 hours back. I went to Scotland. I flew for 12 hours from South Africa to Scotland. I flew 1.5 hours from Scotland to, from UK to Scotland. I was there for 3 hours, a meeting that I had to attend. And I flew back. Now there's nothing luxury. Being a cabinet minister comes with international travel. We've got meetings overseas. Most of these meetings is necessary, but it's not luxury for us. It's not, they say, why didn't you fly economy class? Economy class, if I'm struggling already, economy class from here to Cape Town, because ministers must fly economy class if you are under 10 years in service. So as you all know, I'm very far from 10 years. And by this rate, I might not make 10 years. But that is what I wanted to tell the media. Say that we don't just travel. You must ask for, you must send your schedule why you want to travel. You must ask for permission from the president. And when you come back, you must give a report. What did you go and do there? And it is so easy to say, they're traveling for luxury. That's not traveling. Who wants to be away from their family and fly 24 hours and you're there for 4 hours? You just go and take a quick shower and you're out. So thank you. I just needed to clear that issue, that there was no hiding nothing here. Mashaba is acting like comical Ali. He gets very excited for anything. That's why I paid 12 million rands for a book, for somebody to write a book. He gets excited. He's just an excited human being, doesn't think. He just hears something, he runs with it. So I just needed to put that on to say. And then he has a person like Derelin. She doesn't understand, there's no commercial sense. Doesn't understand the issues we are dealing here with. And now I must now come here and be told by a person with no commercial sense and debate with them on commercial issues. Thank you very much. So the Deputy Minister has given all the information. I've given all the information. But we know it's election time. Even now, if I can slip here, they'll say he was so drunk at that press conference because it was election time. Let me begin where millions of South Africans were this past weekend, watching one of the greatest spectacles in world football, the Soweto Derby between Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. To many South Africans, it is simply another league feature. But anyone who has experienced it knows that it's far more than that. When people from outside our country see the stadium packed to capacity, the colors, the passion, the songs, and the emotion, they struggle to believe us when we tell them that was just an ordinary league feature. They think it must have been a cup final. They think it must be a continental final. But it's simply the PSL doing what it does best. That is the power of South African sport. It reminds us that sport in this country carries something special that resonates far beyond our borders. Moments like the Soweto Derby remind us why sports matters so deeply in South Africa. Sports bring people together. It gives young people hope. It builds pride and identity, and it allows the world to see the energy and spirit of our beautiful country. Today, I'm going to speak about the work that myself and the Deputy Minister is doing, what the department is doing, and I want to start with LIV Golf. But it will be selfish of myself and the Deputy Minister to take all the praise of LIV Golf. I want to praise Panyaza Lisufi, because when I came back and myself and the Deputy Minister met with him and we said, do you want the province to host? Other premiers didn't just say, yeah, you'll phone me. Panyaza is a visionary. Panyaza Lisufi is a visionary. He said, explain this thing to me in detail. And after that, he said, I'm in. And I want to mention it today. I also want to mention the cabinet colleagues that we have. The ministers, this would not have been possible if they said no. To all the ministers, the cabinet colleagues, my staff in DSAC, thank you. One of the promises we made was to bring world-class golf sporting events back to South Africa. In just under 3 weeks' time, LIV Golf will arrive in our country. The event is nearly sold out. We are standing at 83,000 tickets sold. The record is held by Australia, which I think is 90,000. We have just made 5,000 extra tickets available because I believe we are going to become the biggest LIV Golf event in the world with 95,000 tickets sold. LIV Golf is not just golf. It is culture, it is fashion, it is music, it is motivational, because we'll be having 54 of the world's top golfers coming. 54. No golfing event in the history of Africa has ever sold out, has ever sold 81,000 tickets. We have done that as the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, but that would not have been possible. I want to thank the Minister of Home Affairs, Minister Leon Schreiber, for the visas, which he has done so speedily of the players, and he went out of his way. And I never thought I would work so closely with Minister Schreiber from the DA, but that is just how wonderful the GNU is. We work together. Mr. Schreiber is a consummate professional. He has made sure that every LIV Golf player, all 54 of them, they all have their visas. LIV Golf is projected to generate close to 1 billion rand in economic activity through tourism, hospitality, local spending, taxation, and international exposure. If we spend 1 or 2 million on flights to secure that deal, you now hear what are the rewards or the ROI, the return on investment on those flights that we did. I also want to thank Patricia de Lille, the Minister of Tourism. She has done so much to make this LIV Golf event a success. But the Steyn City family and Steyn City for the incredible role they have played in making this possible. We are also pleased that discussions are underway with Steyn City to renew the tournament for several more years. In fact, the scale of the event, as I said, we want to increase it to 95,000. But beyond the numbers, LIV Golf sends a powerful message. It tells the world that South Africa is open, a country of unity, peace and cohesion. It shall be an advert for who we are. It tells the world that South Africa can host global events again. And it tells the world that South Africa remains a destination for sport, tourism and culture. LIV Golf will be the biggest event so far after the G20. I also want to recognize 4 proud South Africans who played a major role in bringing this event to our country. Dean Burmester, Louis Oosthuizen, Charles Schwartzel, Brendan Grace. And LIV Golf is not just about the professionals. The Deputy Minister has worked tirelessly to make sure that people in Soweto, people in Arado Park, people in Alexandra, the women can also play golf during the before the LIV Golf event, and young people also. These 4 South Africans, they are the Southern Guards, South Africa's own LIV Golf team. These players love South Africa. They've carried our flag proudly everywhere in the world, and they were instrumental in encouraging LIV Golf to engage with South Africa in the first place. Without those 4 guys, this moment would not have happened. So when they return home to play at Steyn City, we must come out in numbers to support them. They love this country, and we should love them back. Now, VAR. You know, I can't enjoy football anymore. I am a super fan of football. I can't enjoy it anymore. Because whenever the referees make a mistake, people will turn around, Mckenzie, you guy LIV. Where's LIV? And LIV Golf has become my identity. We made a promise. Another promise we made was to move forward with the implementation of VAR in South African football. When this discussion began, we were told that implementing VAR in South Africa could cost us as much as 80 million rand. Instead of rushing into the process, we met with SAFA, and we, together with SAFA, assembled a technical refereeing team, the best referees, to properly evaluate all the options. That team was led by Daniel Bennett, working alongside Victor Gomez, Jerome Damon, and Abdul Ibrahim, SAFA's head of referees. So we wanted to get the right people to do this. They assessed all the serious technology providers and worked closely with FIFA and the International Football Association board to ensure that South Africa implements VAR fully in line with global standards. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture was leading the process to make sure we implement VAR. We cannot implement VAR. It has to be SAFA. So we have to work with SAFA. And the CEO of SAFA has truly been a star in working with us. We have also on the site, because you can't just believe everything people tell you, conducted benchmarking internationally, including engagement in Spain with the Premier League productions in the United Kingdom. We met with Carlos Tevez, the president of the La Liga. We met with different people to make sure that what we're going to deliver in South Africa next season must be top class. One example I would like to make, football is evolving. FIFA's head of global development, Arsene Wenger, is currently in advanced discussions around the proposed reform of the offside rule, where a player would only be offside if the entire body is ahead of the defender. How would you see some people that say we don't need VAR? How will you see that with a naked eye? Football is not waiting for South Africa. Luckily, you have a minister and a deputy minister that is not slow. And we have now made sure that everything has been done. We are ready. We've kept our promise of VAR. In my hand here, I have the proof of payment that we wrote to Treasury. Treasury has given us permission. I have paid now from the department with the DM. We've given the money for VAR to SAFA. SAFA must just pay. So there's nothing Mckenzie can do anymore. Everything, so I've kept my promise. So I don't want to hear somebody ask me, where is VAR? Here is VAR. I have done my bit. The DM has done her bit. We have given the money for VAR. we have assembled the people, we have done the expertise. So we've delivered on LIV Golf. We've delivered on VAR. I'm coming to the others. Formula One. Another area where progress has been made in South Africa's ambition to return to the Formula One calendar. We have now secured the most important thing, which is the guarantee, the money. We've secured the money for Formula One. Discussions with Formula One management are continuing as we work towards aligning the commercial and promotional aspects to host a race. But I think I must thank the companies and mention them. They stepped forward and they said, we are willing to pay. Those companies are Betway, Discovery, MTN, Canal Plus, and Supersport. These are people that came with, says, here's the money. Here is the money. We want Formula One. But what was curious for me about these companies I've mentioned, I met with Pernod Ricard last week. They also want to help with F1. Red Bull has also asked for a meeting to assist with F1. So F1 is going to happen. But what was curious for me about these companies, when I spoke to Adrian Gore of Discovery, he said the same thing that Lawrence Mitchell of Betway said to me. The same thing that Calvo Mawela said to me. They said, we are giving this money for our country to make sure the world comes and see what a great country we live in. So we have Formula One is coming. I know I've got some questions from people yesterday with what's happening with Bahrain, what is happening with Abu Dhabi, what is happening with Saudi, what is happening with Qatar, because there's war. We will only know that in 3 weeks when we meet with F1 again. Maybe the calendars open up, maybe not, but we don't plan on other people's misfortune. We are sticking to our plan and we'll see how it goes. FIFA World Cup boycott calls. I want to address calls from some quarters, including the EFF, for African countries to boycott the FIFA World Cup because of travel restrictions imposed by the United States. Yesterday, we crossed 100 days before the kickoff of the FIFA World Cup. Let me say clearly, South Africa does not support a boycott. We don't support a boycott. Football should not become a casualty of geopolitics. The FIFA World Cup is the biggest sporting event on earth. It is a celebration of the global game, and it belongs to the players and the supporters of the world. South Africa is not subject to any travel ban. The United States of America has not put a travel ban on South Africa. Bafana have qualified for the first time since 2002. And we want to see South Africans traveling to the Americas in numbers to support our national team. Myself and the Deputy Minister has already spoken to the Music University in Mexico for a fan park for South Africans to travel. They can go to the fan park. There will be South African artists that will be performing in Mexico at the fan park. And I have spoken a year ago already with the mayor of Atlanta, great mayor of Atlanta. And South Africans will be performing in Atlanta. South African artists shall be performing in Atlanta. The department is going to take chefs for South African cuisine because the university informed us that all the students want to come to the South African fan park. I'm going to repeat that the chefs are not for me. It's because I know I'm going to read, Mckenzie is taking his chefs with. There will be a transparent competition of chefs. Our artists will give an opportunity to go to America. Our journalists, you know, I was speaking to a minister, I think, a football official, and he said to me that Morocco is taking 130 or 110 journalists worth to the World Cup. Now here in South Africa, people do not understand that journalists, you see I'm speaking for the journalists, they are people that brings information to our people. So in South Africa, we will also take journalists. We also are busy talking to sponsors, where we have a face of South Africa. South African man, as you all know, has been talking for 3 years about the ladies in Cape Verde. Because at the last African Cup of Nations, they had some ladies there at Cape Verde, and you can hide, South African man has been talking about that, including myself, just in case you think I am throwing you under the bus. But I know that South Africa is the most beautiful woman in the world. We will have an open competition where we want the world to see. That will also make tourism go up, like Cape Verde's tourism has gone up. We will also take men there. We will have influence that will go. We will have influences. This is the time where things are changing. This World Cup, the last time we qualified was 2002. So we're going to have competitions of people that the South African look, so people can see. We're going to have chefs. We're going to have content creators. We are speaking to different sponsors to take that. Coca-Cola has already come forward to say they will be one of the sponsors of the fan park in South Africa, in Mexico. So we'll speak to sponsors and say, can you pay for this? We want to showcase our dancers, our art. We leave no one behind. And I want to say this very clearly. This very beautiful T-shirt is what Bafana and all of us are going to wear for the World Cup. This is the official kit of Bafana done by Adidas. We have supported rugby. We'll have Bok Friday. As soon as Adidas launched this, we shall have Baf Friday. We call it Baf Friday. We shall have a Baf Friday. And I'm doing a call on all corporates and on all corporate to say, allow your staff to wear Bafana, to wear the T-shirts on Friday. Some of you had no problem them wearing rugby T-shirts. It's now time to support. And I want to talk to white people in particular. White people, we have supported. Rugby is not a white sport, but it is a sport that we have embraced after Nelson Mandela. Made many of us embrace rugby. And please, we want to see you also with your Friday, with your Bafana shirt. So the moment some of them are saying, no, this T-shirt is very beautiful. Please get yourself a T-shirt. I've spoken to editors to say supply should meet demand. As far as boycotting the World Cup, the problem with people like Bomalem, I just wake up and think, what nonsense can I talk today? How do you boycott the World Cup? It's got everything to do with sponsors. We will be banned. Our players will be banned to play overseas, that plays overseas. It will be Armageddon. So I want to make it very clear, America has not put any travel ban on South Africa. Apply for your visa and get yourself to Mexico, Canada, and if you can't afford, check the competitions that we are going to have for our people to go there. We want to showcase South Africa at the World Cup because, ladies and gentlemen, we have been blessed with the luck of the draw. We've got the first game. It's the most important game in any World Cup, more than the final, the opening game. South Africa is having the opening game, and we want them to see, we want the journalists to write. We will have a transparent process of how the beauty products, the companies that work with beauty products, they want to get involved in the South African men look and the South African woman look. And those are our assets. We are very beautiful people. We mustn't be shy about that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our football has really gone from strength to strength in this country. I saw a match the other day, I'm not going to mention the country, but the man of the match got 150, I'm not going to say the currency, and a bag of mealie meal. So a bag of rice. Dr. Irvin Khoza, we want to give you your flowers while you're still alive. The problem with Dr. Khoza is he's not a chest beater. Dr. Khoza doesn't talk about what he does. And Dr. Khoza has truly changed our football for the better. That's my only problem with Dr. Khoza. When you hear the things that he's doing, you now realize that he never tells the media. So I'm here to tell you, he has led the revolution of our football, our local league. The DDC is the reason why today we can field local players at Bafana Bafana. Now moving to the one I know many of you came here for, CAF. I want to be very clear. Dr. Patrice Motsepe has been, in my view, the best CAF president that we've ever had. Under his leadership, we've seen improved revenues, better treatment and payment of referees and players, stronger development programs, and greater professionalism across African football. Yet, despite these achievements, he continues to face attacks of late. Even for a man on the street, you can see these are coordinated attacks against Dr. Patrice Motsepe. None of us are above criticism, but this is becoming ridiculous. And he's not being attacked with, he has not done 1, 2, or 3. Because he's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My education is not so high, so I can go on and on and on. Dr. Patrice is being attacked. They make nonsensical statements like he's in the pocket of Infantino. Dr. Patrice in the pocket. He can swipe Dr. Infantino, they can swipe Gianni Infantino. How do you make such, you can accuse him of many things. Don't accuse him of being in the pocket of somebody. As if we don't know. Maybe they don't know Patrice. We know him. So I want to say it right here. He's not an orphan. He has a country. And we will not allow and sit idle while one of our own is being attacked mercilessly and without reason. I want to make that very clear here today. We as South Africa and the countries that is asking us for help and that want to be part of our African Cup of Nations, but we must support Dr. Patrice. Some critics even talk about he's in the pockets, as I said. I would also like to congratulate Gianni Infantino as he marks 10 years as president of FIFA. His leadership has seen the expansion of global football, development programs here in Africa, and a stronger focus on Africa. South Africa is very proud to announce under him, FIFA has chosen our country to host the regional FIFA office, serving the 40 nations of Southern Africa, strengthening development across the region. However, ladies and gentlemen, there's one issue we must address frankly. Nobody wants to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it today. The situation surrounding the Women African Cup of Nations is deeply concerning. You have seen the deputy minister sitting besides me, sitting right here, was part of meetings we had where we were asked, are you willing to host WAFCON? Those meetings was meetings to say in the event that it doesn't happen in Morocco. Somebody or some people then told the deputy minister, no, Morocco is not hosting it anymore. You can announce. So she didn't just wake up and announce. She was told, because she's been part of the meetings with me, where we were looking at our stadiums just in case our readiness. And when she was told by some officials, no, it's fine, South Africa's going to go ahead. She then announced it, only to find out that Morocco is not saying they're not holding it. Now, I want to protect the DM and tell you that I would have done the same in the same situation. I've been part of the meetings, and all of a sudden I'm being told by officials, now here's the truth that people are running away from, and I want to deal with this matter today. The situation surrounding the Women's African Cup of Nations is deeply concerning. And we must ask, we must not be scared to ask two difficult questions that many people are thinking or are saying softly, but they are not willing to say it aloud. I'm going to say it right here today. Are we now all being made to suffer because Senegal won the men's AFCON? Must we now suffer? If Senegal has not won that final, would we still be sitting here with this uncertainty? Let me be clear. Congratulations to Senegal. I was there to witness that final myself. It was a great match and a deserved victory. But Morocco must accept that a game of football is just a game at the end. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That match was decided by the smallest of margins. One penalty that did not go in. No country should be judged for losing a football match, but the country can be judged for how it responds afterwards. And one can only wonder if the situation would have been the same if Morocco has won the AFCON. But here's the question that people are scared to ask. Another one. Why do we treat women with such disdain in football? If that was a men's cup, we would have known the date, everything would have been arranged. But no, it's just women. How do coaches prepare if it has not been confirmed or cancelled? How come that where I am from in Hidedal, there's going to be a soccer tournament? We know the date, we know the time, we know the venues. How come a world, Africa's top premier women's cup, we don't know the date, we don't know what's happening? There's absolute silence. Morocco's not saying they're doing it, they're not saying they're not doing it. What about the players' well-being? What about their mental state? How do we allow? But let me tell you what it is. South Africa is back hosting events, hosting functions. And I make it clear here that if Morocco's not going to host, if they're going to host AFCON, let them do so. We shall support them. But if they're not going to do that, WAFCON, they must tell us now. I'm going to repeat that. If Morocco is ready to host WAFCON, because they had a brilliant AFCON, they should do so. But if they are not ready, we want to tell them, we are not a country with no stadiums. We are not a country with no infrastructure. We as South Africa will never be held hostage by countries that has less than what we have. As the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, if you are not going to host, because maybe one or two other countries you can tell them they must wait for you because they don't have the infrastructure. We don't wait for no one. We will not allow women to be treated in such a fashion. We will not allow women's football to be. How in this day and age people are scared to say it? I'm not scared to say it. If Morocco's not going to host it, South Africa, as the Deputy Minister said, we are standing ready. Because at the end of the day, this is all to embarrass the president of CAF. And he didn't say it, I'm saying it. So don't attribute what I'm saying here to him. We are ready. We have the stadiums, we have the people, we have the infrastructure, we have the transport system, better than any country in Africa. But we're not going to treat women like that. They don't know how they're traveling, they don't know what to tell their kids, they don't know to make arrangements, but we will never treat men's football like that. So I said what I said. Women deserve certainty, and they deserve respect. They deserve a tournament worthy of their dedication to the game. But we are all silent. All the countries are silent. The ministers don't speak, but we can. But in corners, we want to talk. So today, I am saying it here. We are ready to host because we will not allow countries that don't have our infrastructure to be held hostage because people can't make up their minds. Federation funding and governance. Government funding remains an important part of developing sport in the country. Now I get criticized, the DM gets criticized for holding back funds. Yes, we do hold back funds. Because under the 7th administration, under us, the tap has been closed. You can't just get money, we don't know what you did with the money. We have 57 compliant federations who received their funding by December 2025. For the 2025-2026 financial year, the department allocated 98 million, of which 84.7 million has already been transferred. The remaining balance relates to the outstanding federations and to the offset of 5 million advance previously made to SAFA. No federation had its budget cut. It's just, they go to the media, they say they cut our budget. They're lying. The only exceptions are 3 major professional codes: Cricket SA, SAFA, and SARU. Because of the scale of those organizations, special dispensation arrangements were being currently discussed with them. Transfers are being processed to 4 additional federations that have recently met their compliance requirements. For example, South African Hockey received its original allocation of 3 million. 2 federations did not meet compliance requirements and therefore did not receive funding this year, which is the Figure Skating Federation failed to submit the required document. And under us, you're not going to get money without giving us the documents. That's one. Taekwondo did not submit audited financial statements. Public funds must be accounted for. Municipal infrastructure and sports facilities. Let me also speak about something that affects millions of South Africans who may never attend a Formula 1 race or LIV Golf tournament, but who simply want a decent place to play sport in their community. Sports begin at community level. It begins at local fields. That's why the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture works closely with municipalities. The MIC, the Municipal Infrastructure Grant, ensure that communities have access to safe and functional sporting facilities. For many years, MIC funding has been one of the most important tools for building and maintaining community infrastructure, including swimming pools, sports facilities, recreational space, and community venues. But we must also be honest about the challenges. Too often facilities are built but not properly maintained. Too often projects are delayed or poorly implemented. And too often communities are left with infrastructure that does not meet the standard they deserve. Government allocates 5% of MIC for sports and recreation facilities. However, many municipalities struggle to implement sports projects, often due to reprioritization of the money. They use the money for other things to pay salaries, the municipalities. We are about to make a list of those municipalities so we can stop being blamed for municipalities and mayors that takes money that must build our swimming pools, our infrastructure, and they pay salaries. We are now compiling a list of those mayors so people must know where government of national unity has given them the money. Because the resources are limited and prioritization is essential. We also call on the private sector to help. Then basketball. The most significant governance intervention we've taken relates to basketball South Africa. Following serious governance breaches relating to the hosting of the 2024 Afro-Basket tournament, the department withdrew recognition of Basketball South Africa as the official federation. This resulted in the withdrawal of all rights and privileges, including funding. We remind all four federations that are willing to do this when they fail to deliver and let down the people who dedicate themselves to sport. We will do to you what we've done to Basketball South Africa. The time of accountability has arrived. We will not allow people to use taxpayers' money and not do what the mandate requires of them. Working with FIBA Africa, a process is now underway to rebuild basketball governance in South Africa. FIBA Africa has appointed board member Hesham El Hariri to work with the department and SASCOC to develop a roadmap to reconstitute the federation and elect new leadership. We're going to elect new leadership. Basketball is usually popular amongst young South Africans. It deserves proper governance, so I want to say to all the young people, basketball will be back. We're working with SASCOC, we're working with FIBA. We are going to fix basketball, and basketball will become one of the top codes in our country. CCI sector clusters. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 years for the time of Brenda Fassie. I remember I read an article when I was in prison about Brenda Fassie, where she told Mandela she has no money. I think Mandela bought her a car or something like that. Now, if Brenda Fassie didn't have money at that time, artists after Brenda has also struggled more because Brenda was the biggest star this country has ever had. She sold out stadiums. But Brenda Fassie had financial problems. Most of our artists have financial problems. Now, there's a huge criticism of me. I cannot do the same thing that has been done for 30 years and artists are still suffering. The artists of today can't even bury themselves, some of them. We have to give money when they die. Which is very unfair towards the domestic workers. Which is very unfair towards other working people or jobless people. Why are we burying the artist? But some people also give a service to the country. Football players we don't bury. They also entertain people. So we said, I'm not going to do stuff the way it has been done before. DM is not going to do stuff the way it has been done before. So then we looked at what is the problem? Why are our artists so poor? We then realized, except not having, except being at the hands of very bad producers and record labels, they don't have the commercial know-how to know that this life of artists is not every day, your salary is not guaranteed. So what we've done, we then realized they need proper representation. We then started sector clusters, where we said to them, this is for poetry, this is for crafting, this is for choral music, this is for folks music, this one here is for dancing, this one is for art, this one here is for theater. We then made them choose their own boards. We then gave those boards money, I think 2 million DG. We gave them 2 million as a board, just as functioning capital, working capital. They must now go out and meet with ambassadors, meet with ministers, meet with municipalities, and say, you have to book, here's the database. When I want to book an artist, it's not difficult. But imagine you have your 21st birthday party, and you want to book, let's say you want to book black coffee. You don't know how to get hold of him. You call somebody, that person calls, he says, hey man, don't forget me, they want black coffee's number, give me. But before you get to black coffee, you already 20% of the money goes for commission. We want to cut the middleman out. We want the country to know this is the number for my 21st birthday party. This is the number for my wedding. This is the number if we want somebody to sing the national anthem. There will be no more middlemen because even these people can't even sing, but he makes more money than the singer himself. So this cluster is cutting out the middlemen. The ones that march, they say they're marching to my office. The ones that say they're marching to my office is the ones that has been benefiting. We are now opening the space. A person wants to make money as if these singers are their slaves. So that is, the clusters will be launched 16 of the 17 clusters are fully operational. We'll officially launch the CCI sector cluster on 30 March 2026 at New Rock Sculpture Park under the theme, United Voices Create Futures. So this is another invite for the journalists that are present to come and view how we change, how artists get paid, how to get hold of them, how will they get proper representation, how we will pay for lawyers for them, how we'll help with accounting with them, how we'll help people to read their contracts. Because they give them such a big contract. All these artists want to do is just want to perform. By the time he makes money, he sees it's full, but his wallet is empty. We are dealing with that now. I was in the news for 3 months straight, I think, on the Venus Biennale, on the Gabriel Goliath issue and the Venus Biennale. I was hoping to say much more here today, but because the artist yesterday has made an appeal, I will reserve most of what I wanted to say here. But let me say that I never broke any agreement with Gabriel Goliath. I've met Gabriel Goliath once. She asked me for a picture. I took the picture, I introduced myself, she told me who she was, and I left. I never met her in my life. I never had a meeting with her. I've never brokered any peace. I never promised her, you are going to Venus Biennale. I never did that. I met her for 2 minutes where she asked for a picture. We took the picture. And I didn't even remember. I was reminded by my chief of staff. And I saw her work. And she's an artist. And I love all the work of all the artists. And I must support them. I must support her work too. But I want to make it clear. The court upheld my decision as legal. We are confident that the appeal courts will rule the same way. But let us allow the process to play out. We did look into taking other artists to Venus, but we're concerned about the issues that would arise if Goliath won her case. So there will be no exhibition this year, unfortunately. We are looking to change, and we are going to change how we approach the youth peak. More of that later. I want to also say there wasn't any censorship. There was a big lack of communication. But we will never censor artists. But as the minister, I must have a right to say which art do we, as the minister, want at particular events. When we have our biggest stage in the world, we want to see South African art being at our biggest stage in the world. Other stages, people say, yeah, Mckenzie, Minister Mckenzie is only against her because she's for Palestine and all those things. Let me also answer that. This government is very pro-Palestine. I joined this government with my eyes open, knowing what this government stands for. I have no right to go against what is now government policy or what is still government policy. The GNU has not sat and discussed and workshop our geopolitical strategy. But the current geopolitical strategy, the country is pro-Palestine. I am pro-Israel as a person, but I'm not going to be scared to say it. I'm not going to enforce my beliefs on this government. I must fall in line with what, but my personal view is, and I make no bones, being pro-Israel doesn't mean I'm anti-Palestine. It's not a zero-sum game. I belong to a political party that allows every member. We have great majority of Muslims in our party that walks around in our meetings with Palestine flags. We don't, because we don't tell them you can't do this or you shouldn't do that. So I just wanted to make that clear, that my personal political preferences got nothing to do with the decisions that we make in the DM. It's a person from the river to the sea, many times. But look at how nicely we work together. She has her beliefs, but government has a foreign policy, which I should respect. If government say tomorrow I must go to Palestine, I can't say no. My beliefs don't allow me. Then I must resign. So you see, people are so used to people that they bully. You'll never bully me into hating Israel. You can write 10,000 articles about me. I know what I believe in. And my belief is there by my party and by my house. But the belief of the government is the one I should respect. I hope I'm very clear on that issue. Heritage and culture. I want to say that South Africa does not have a mega concert. There's no mega concert in Africa. You have mega concert Coachella, Glastonbury, Tomorrowland. They draw global audiences, more than 100,000. We are going to have our first mega concert this year called Mckenzie Raw. Mckenzie Raw, we are also working on an exciting initiative, a major cultural and music festival called Mckenzie Raw. The vision is to create a world-class festival that brings together African artists, South African talent, and major international performers across 4 days of music, art, and cultural celebration. 4 days we are going to have, the music is not going to stop. We are going to have the first in Africa, the first major concert in Africa. There's no reason why South Africa cannot host it. We are the kings and queens of Amapiano. We are the kings and queens of Amapiano. Some, they want to claim Amapiano is our thing, Kintuarona. It is born in South Africa. Amapiano, people can claim Amapiano. It is born. The Ford motor vehicle was done by Henry Ford. That other cars came after Ford. Toyota, Nissan, Bugatti, but Henry Ford was the person that we know. South Africa as the creators, and it originated in South Africa. We are going to also have the biggest Amapiano festival in FNB Stadium on top of this festival. This festival will be about fashion, about clothes, about poetry, about dancing, about music, just having a good time for 4 days. We intend to bring 100,000 people to Mckenzie Raw. It will be the biggest mega festival in South Africa and Africa. Later this month, South Africa will participate in a deeply significant moment in our national history. On 23 March, 63 Khoi and San ancestors will be reburied in Steenkop in the Northern Cape under the capable leadership of President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, who will preside over the ceremony. Those remains were removed from the resting places during the colonial era and treated as scientific specimens. I want to thank the Antarian Museum in Scotland, who didn't give us problems when we asked them to return our Khoi and San ancestors' remains. Their return home represent an act of restoring dignity to the Khoi and San people who were denied it in life and even in death. It will be a moment of national reflection and healing. I want to thank the Scottish government also and the UK government for holding our hand and making sure they're returning. While I'm on that subject, we are in the process of returning all our stolen artifacts around the world. Some of you are going to Paris to go and look at African art in Paris, museums. We are bringing it back. We are going first to negotiate, but if we have to approach the international courts, we are ready and able to do that. National Language Summit. We'll convene a 2-day National Language Summit on 16 to 17 March in Cape Town under the theme, towards a unified national language landscape and action plan. This summit, in partnership with Spansel and Sadila, aims to address gaps in our national language framework, including the need for a shared national language plan and greater recognition of languages. Importantly, the summit will include all stakeholders with special focus on the Khoi and San communities, ensuring their voices are represented in shaping South Africa's multilingual democracy. Through frank dialogue and collaboration, we aim to develop a unified national language policy and a clear roadmap for its implementation. Which also brings me to another controversial subject. Before I was minister, names were changed in this country. It is part of our constitution to change the names that people feel is offending. We have recently, 4 months into my term, I got letters from the Name Change Council, the provincial one, and they said they want to change the name of Rivalry to Robert Sobukwe. I asked them, have you done all this, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the necessary things? I found they've not done that. I said, we cannot change the name, because this is not revenge. This is reconciliation. Let us go back and do it. It took them another year and 2 months. They went to go and do that. They came back to the office and said, Minister, this is the committee mandated by the Constitution to advise the minister. Minister, we have done all of you ask of us. My job as a minister is to make sure I do what the Constitution demands of me. I've gazetted the name Robert Sobukwe. Now the Democratic Alliance goes around, not on social media, in the communities, and say that I have changed the name. I have never changed the name Robert Sobukwe. It is the will of the people. And if it's not the will of the people, they can still go and petition and take us to court within 1 month if they feel the name should not change. My job as the minister is to be constitutionally compliant. But I also want to, that was a political answer I gave you. I want to give you the Mckenzie answer. It's unfair if we expect black people and colored people in this country to still drive in Verwoerd Street, Hendrik Verwoerd Street. It's unfair. That name carries pain for them. We should have empathy. What irritated me about some of the complaints, one of my friends called me, well, my ex-friend, we're no longer friends after that call. He called me like, hoe durf jy? Hoe durf jy die naam Rivalry net verander? Roughly translated, how dare you change the name? I said, do you know who Rivalry net is? He says, no. I said, it is Mr. Graf, a colonialist, with his woman, Reinet. Do you know who Robert Sobukwe is? He's a hero. He says, no, but you cannot do this. I said, answer one question for me. And I don't expose him so, but I'll just say that. I said, answer one question for me. What is your company's name? I'm not going to give you the company's name, but I can tell you the company's name is very black for BE purposes. So we cannot have a problem calling our companies Kuzwayo and Sons, but all your sons are white, but the company is Kuzwayo and Sons. But you have a problem when people want to call. In this country, we should not, white people also have the right to come to me and say, ons soek hierdie land. There's Beyers Nordier. He's a white man. What's the airport in Bloemfontein called? Bram Fischer. It's a white man. So there's no revenge here. But we must be honest about these conversations. We are now in the process now. I saw there's a process now to rename. Can Cape Town International to Krotoa Airport. I'm going to sign it. Because even the Khoi and San people have a right to see their heroes as part of South Africa. Beyers Nadir was a hero for all of South Africa. So I needed to talk about that. You can make things about me. I was not here when Tshwane was called Tshwane. I went to jail, it was Pretoria. I came out, they said, we meet you in Tshwane. I said, where's Tshwane? So I wasn't here. When the DMP's Mabe and them were changing, when I went in, it was Pretoria. Then I see Tshwane. Many places I found. Now I'm the minister. I must now stop a process started by Nelson Mandela. Who am I? Can't do that. And I want to say, particularly to the colored community, you must not be used. You must also bring your names of your leaders. If you must not be used and say, Robert Sobukwe was a hero, let me tell you. We are free today because of Robert Sobukwe. Robert Sobukwe they feared him more than they feared Nelson Mandela. He's the only man that they had a clause, a law, like a clause, the Sobukwe clause. He was a hero. He fought for our freedom. I'm standing here because of Mandela. I'm standing here because of Robert Sobukwe. We can't name everything Mandela. But when we say Mandela, nobody complains. Robert Sobukwe did nothing different than what Nelson Mandela did. Why don't we complain when we name things Mandela? But the moment you say Sobukwe, Sisulu, it becomes a complaint. Those people also sacrifice their lives. Harry the Strandloper, Otsomato, the first person to be imprisoned on Robben Island. Under my leadership, he now has a statue on Robben Island. He was not only the first, I think he was also the first to escape. So, democracy is not easy. Democracy is not easy. You can't believe in democracy. But when the majority of people want a name change, then you're against it. I wanted to make that very clear today, that we must respect what we have. We're having Afrikaans, we are celebrating Afrikaans. This, at the Taal Monument in Paarl, I'm just going to go through the last ones quickly. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the African World Heritage Fund. For 2 decades, the institution has supported the conservation of Africa's heritage sites. Robben Island is turning 30 years old. We are going to continue to make Robben Island the most visited museum on the African continent. Rugby's greatest rivalry. Before I conclude, let me say something about one of the greatest rivalries in world sport. The rivalry between the Springboks and the All Blacks, which will enjoy a special incoming tour, all on its own this year, in a way that we've never witnessed and enjoyed in many years. The rivalry stretched back more than a century. I think it's 108 years. And is widely regarded as the greatest in international rugby. Between them, the two nations have won 7 Rugby World Cups, and their matches are often decided by the narrowest of margins. The upcoming Rugby's greatest rivalry tour in 2026 will include matches across South Africa. Before concluding was a historic 4th test match in Baltimore in the United States. Few sporting contests carry the same intensity or legacy, and we are blessed to be living through the greatest era in Springbok rugby history while it happens. We pay tribute to the players, Siya Kolisi and his team, the coaches, the management of South African rugby, and his president, Mark Alexander. We are paying homage to them, making this possible this year, and it caps off a period of uncertainty around the funding of the Springboks that we can now gratefully put behind us. Last sentence. South Africa is a country defined by its sporting passion and cultural creativity. From the Soweto Derby to global events like LIV Golf, from the dream of bringing Formula 1 back to our country, to the preservation of our heritage and the celebration of our language and culture. We are building momentum. Even you have to admit, I look at this list. January, we had Whale and Mariah the scientist in Cape Town. February, we had the Lumineers. March, we've got Inka Kenzia, Brett Newski in Joburg, Amit Yahaf. We've got Doja Cat, Sunbed Arena. We've got Jack and the Weatherman. We've got Brian Adams. We've got DJ Snake in Ultra South Africa. We've got Ella May. We've got Boys to Men. We've got UB40 featuring Ellie Campbell. We've got J. Cole. Never in the history you can see things are happening under the leadership of Peace Mabe and Gayton Mckenzie. The ministers of happiness, the ministers that make things happen. Whether you like it or not, we make things happen. The rugby is coming, the football is coming, LIV is coming, F1 is coming. That's who we are. South Africa is back on the map. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Mr. Gayton Mckenzie, and the Deputy Minister, Ms. Peace Mabe. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to enter straight into the question and answer session. And I would like the media to please just show by a show of hands who has any questions. You've all heard the statement, and so we'd just like to have engagements between the Deputy Minister and the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture. I would also request that the technical team please just show us where the roving mics are. Thank you very much. I will request that the media who want to ask questions just say your name, your media outlet, and then ask your question, and the Minister and the Deputy Minister will answer. By a show of hands. At the back there, please.
Hi, good day. Africa International News here. Minister, we just want to find out, the gig guide you gave now, recently, the last one you just mentioned, will that be on the Sports, Arts and Culture website? Would it be available to the public anytime soon? Would you have any idea? That's Africa International News Agency. Thank you.
It will be on the website this afternoon. Because also, it's a very important question you ask, because there's a lot of people that say they are bringing people here, and then people buy tickets. We have now taken a posture that all international, there's two decisions we took. One decision is that all events will be on the website of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, so that you can know this is the real one. Another decision we took is that no sporting event will just put the artists there to sing our national anthem without going through the department. Because we have people that don't even know the anthem, or they sing as false as I. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The second question, I'm just going to request if you have a question, please stand up. So that
I'll be in front of these cameras here, so I hope you don't mind. I want to get in front of the cameras. Okay. Minister Thabiso Sithole-Ntshe, it's a couple of fold questions, but we'll take it one by one. Maybe one of my other colleagues will ask. The clarity, you said, can you give us a figure of how much you said you paid or sent to SAFA for the VAR that has been paid? Yes, we know the estimate has been 80, you said that. Do you know the actual figure that you say we have now moved on to SAFA, who I'm assuming they must then pass it on to the relevant people who be the PSL regarding the VAR matter?
It's not what we're going to do. We've sent the first tranche of 20 million rand to SAFA, and I must tell you, PSL has been paying referees out of their own pocket. And we are also going to send money for referees, but this is the first tranche. VAR comes with more referees, so we bring in the whole spectrum. The second tranche will also be 20 million in the next financial year, because this VAR will cost us 40 million, including salaries for referees and for the operators of VAR. We've already sent them what is needed now to buy the equipment, which is 20 million. And there's nothing more at this point we can do except press the next button in the next financial year.
Thank you very much. Yes, may you please stand, and may we have the mic to the gentleman on the left? You may proceed.
Good afternoon, Minister. My name is Atengo Sitotse from News 24. Minister, I wanted to ask you with regards to the funding secured from the private sector with regards to the Formula One. Can you get the figures behind it, and what's the purpose behind it and its functionality, the money that was secured?
When you get Formula One wants a government guarantee to say if the sponsors don't come up with the money, government will fork out the money. The government guarantee that we have comes up to 2.1 billion. The sponsors' money that we got so far, this is now without Red Bull, Pernod Ricard, the ones that we got come up to 1.7 billion. I can tell you people have placed up to 200 to 300 million. The purpose of that is the money we are going to use for the F1. The guarantee is a stopgap measure. If we run a loss of 100,000, it will then be taken maybe, or we run a loss of 20 million, it will be taken from the guarantee. But the excitement for Formula One, the last time we had a Formula One was in 2003. And nostalgia, people want to see a Formula One before they die, all the things they tell us. We want to see Formula One. People are excited about Formula One. What I found the most curious for me, I get asked by Formula One more than, the ladies ask me more than the gents about Formula One. The gents just want to know about VR. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we please have the next question? The lady on the...
It's there.
It's already there. Thank you, ma'am. You may stand up.
Hi, Minister. My name is Gugulethu Sibia from the Lifestyle League. So actually what I want to ask you is, how will the ministry report progress on these KPIs to the public and stakeholders annually? Thank you.
I'll answer the one part and the DM will answer the second part. We have made the promise. The promises I've made when I became a minister was F1, was LIV Golf, was VR. Those were the principal promises I've made. F1, LIV is here. VAR is here. I will come right back to the media. That's now my unofficial. The DM will come with the official part of us. We have what you call the KPIs. And those KPIs are constantly being checked. Firstly by ourselves, and the media holds us accountable. Now today is a very happy day for me. Because it's done. I've done everything I promised. And there's a certain journalist I look at here. I've done everything I promised. I'm going to do it. And it was LIV Golf. Yeah, but you just want to give the second part, the official one.
Thank you very much, Minister. In fact, this is part of responding as well, or accounting to public. But formally, internally, we expect the administration to present reports, of course, on expenditures and also on targets that we have set for ourselves. And legislatively, we are also expected to quarterly report to Parliament. So far, we've been going to Parliament every quarter, presenting our key performance indicators.
Thank you very much. I recognize this lady first here. You may stand up, ma'am, at the back, and then after that. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Minister. Vuyo Macoba from Newsroom Africa. You mentioned earlier, of course, that South Africa needs to go to Mexico and we need to showcase South Africa. I just want to get a sense in terms of security for the national team, especially if you look at the recent violence, the cartel violence that is happening around one of the co-host cities. Yes, you may look at that Bafana Bafana will be based in maybe Pachuca, which is Guadalajara is maybe a few hundred kilometers, Atlanta and all of that. But we never know what the future would look like in terms of those relations. Just measures that are in place to make sure that Bafana Bafana is safe while they're spending their time in that side. What are the conversations that are happening with the country, that side, with SAFA, the department, to make sure the national team is safe?
The other day, I was getting ready by my house to watch a football game. And then my pastor of my church came. And I first wanted to say I'm not here. But then I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to tell him about it. And he says, I'm just here to come and watch football with you. Now, what am I trying to say? Football is loved universally by all strata in all spheres of our communities. Before the 2010 World Cup, we were busy listing a company and we were raising money. And when you read the newspapers about 2010, I was even scared to come back home. Because people were saying that people are going to be robbed, and none of that has happened. There were violence in Mexico. We live in a violent country. But football has a way of uniting and silencing the guns. The best example I'm going to make you about Mexico is that 2 weeks ago, the World Cup traveled to Mexico. It traveled to Mexico there was not one complaint of it being of violence. So I think even the cartel, they will be watching football. They wouldn't have time to go and shoot people. So the cartel will be in front of TVs. The pastors will be in front of TVs. We will all. But I also think that Mexican authorities, I've got full faith that they will know how to handle the situation. I was in Mexico the other day, and I can tell you, World Cup fever has hit that country. And nobody's going to steal that. No cartel will steal that from Mexico to have their first ever World Cup. But we've got faith in the Mexican authorities that they shall have a very good World Cup. And Bafana Bafana shall be safe. And we will also be safe. You just don't want Bafana Bafana. What about us? We will also be safe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Minister. I've recognized three now. You may go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, Mr. Minister. I am quite Daldulane. I'm an independent TV producer. 2 questions. Thank you very much for introducing the Cultural, Creative and Industry launch. Now, my question there is, are we going to have experts of industry that address particularly contracts that creatives are given in the industry? Because more often than not, we are facing an industry where labor laws are being violated. And my second question is around AI. Are there any plans to integrate artificial intelligence into the cultural landscape of creative, and how those artists who come up with AI programs can be compensated for their work?
Thank you very much. It's like you've seen the program already. We will have accountants, we will have financial planners, we will have lawyers, contract specialists address that evening. So we'll have a spectrum of people that will help our artists. And we'll also give them a database of lawyers they can use in the different spaces. As far as AI is concerned, AI is not here to visit, it's here to stay. AI has become part of our lives. AI there is nothing. I was listening to a speech in India, not in India, in Singapore, where they are one of the foremost thinkers when it comes to AI. And he was telling us, you just hear the bad about AI. He was telling us a plane where a man got a heart attack and didn't know how to use the machine, for instance. And AI guided them exactly what should happen. The pilots can, let's say pilots pass out. You can jump in there and AI can guide you. I don't know why people are still ashamed to say they are using AI. It has become part of our lives, and I think we are working on legislation governing AI. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Yes.
Thank you. You may go ahead, sir. Please state your name and your media outlet.
Okay, thank you. Minister, Velile from SABC Sport here. I just want to go back to the issue of the WAFCON. Because as you rightfully said with the Deputy Minister, CAF approached different member associations to check the availability to host in case Morocco is not going ahead. And 2 weeks before the tournament, we know nothing. I've since seen that CAF is saying the next 48 hours they will update. What is one of the biggest issues around this? Because my understanding is that as South Africa, we were ready to host, but as soon as Morocco heard that we want to host, and all of hell started to break loose after that.
Really, here's the issue. That never happened where in the national competition, 2 weeks before the competition, you hear nothing. You see nothing. There's no marketing around it. There's nothing. So I think you rightly said it. After Deputy Minister Peace Mabe said, we are ready. You know, there's a song that said, neither one of us wants to be the first to say bye-bye. There's such a song. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. So I think here is a matter of everybody except South Africa. We can't give this to South Africa. So if you can't give it to us, host it. We'll support you. You are a brilliant host. Morocco had the most brilliant AFCON in the history of AFCON. That was the best AFCON. But they must host it if they want to. But now we are saying that we can't put women through this. Because men's sport, they would never have done that. So we're calling on them to say, host, and in my language, Azerbaijan, we are ready. Walala wasala in her language. By this, Azerbaijan, what's that? Did I answer you, Willie? We are born ready as South Africans. What are you talking about? We have hosted the 2010 World Cup. We must just rush to cabinet. Cabinet must give us permission. You know, what thing I've inherited and the DM has inherited in DSAC, you've got very capable people there. I can tell you. The people in that department has never gotten their dues. They were insulted by this artist that maybe that wants to take everything for themselves. And they will name and shame individuals that was fighting against that capture. But I believe in the staff in DSAC, and I think we're South Africans, we'll pull that together. But within 48 hours, somebody must make a decision. But don't say I'm a fortune teller. After this press conference, Morocco will be ready. No, must add. The culprit must add.
I think part of the question was also trying to establish the challenges why Morocco is unable to host. And unfortunately will not be in a position to speak on behalf of Morocco. What is happening in Morocco is their problem. But after those meetings, we always learn that they are stating that they are not ready to host. And South Africa, we're not saying anything. We're just saying we are ready. If Morocco is not ready to take over, we are ready because we feel preparations have gone ahead. Women are ready to tackle this competition. And if we postpone, what does it mean to them financially? So we are serious about the professionalization of women's sports in South Africa. And that's the stance that we are taking. And I'm happy that today it is clear that there is no tension between myself and the minister. We are in agreement to say that if Morocco is not ready to host WAFCON, South Africa is ready. And tonight is the night. If they are going to continue, let it be. But if not, in advance again, we want to reiterate that we are ready as South Africa to take over.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister and Minister.
Yeah. This.
Over there?
Yes, please.
Yes, and then you next, sir, and next to you. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Okay, Minister Thabiso Sithole again, ENCA. I thought my colleagues would have gotten there, but they haven't yet. A couple of questions. One, maybe just an update on Team South Africa in general, with the uncertainty around the globe. Do we know that if we do have any athletes out of the country or any aspect to that, is everyone fine, accounted for in that regard, both whether it's arts, culture, and sports? I think we have been running stories. We have approached SASCOC. SASCOC has said they do know that some federations are at home, but they have not received anything adverse. Maybe you would have an update on that, if anything. Secondly, the VAR question as well, maybe we didn't get it right. I think earlier on, whilst in your submission, you said next season. Are we speaking of the end of this season and then it begins in August? So coming in, when the new season begins in August, VAR should be, inverted commas, implemented, hence you've paid in regards to that. And then I think the third question, the Springboks. Yesterday, I think we all heard them pronouncing that they're not planning to bid for the Rugby World Cup. But we do have the greatest rugby rivalry coming. One would have thought, again, in our lifetime, we'd like to see a Rugby World Cup. Any thoughts on that, on the SARU announcement yesterday? Thank you, Minister.
All right. You know, Desiree Ellis, the coach of Banyana, is a very capable coach, one of the best coaches in the world. And I think they must be looking at this situation very clearly and very keenly. So I think they will also be ready. They're waiting for the announcement tonight. It's tonight, DM, ne? Where they're announcing. But I think they will be ready. SAFA has pulled up its socks. So much so that they have qualified for WAFCON, they've qualified for AFCON, they've qualified for the World Cup, and our youth football is back on track. Standard Bank, great salute to them. They've given SAFA a sponsorship. Now, companies like Standard Bank will not come in and give money where there'll be reputational risk. The issue of Danny Jordan that I always get asked about. We live in a country that says you are innocent until proven guilty. That's in our constitution. Danny Jordan has his matter at court. We are waiting to hear what the court says. But in SAFA, he's doing a great job. He's made us qualify under his leadership, whether you like Danny or not. The things he told us at the beginning, he has done those. As far as VAR is concerned, VAR must be implemented next season, which means August, when we start again. The league starts in August. It must be implemented. Why are we waiting? You always said you don't have money to the people. Every year there is no money. Now the Minister of Happiness has brought the happiness, the money. What is the excuse now going to be? No, then if there's no VAR, then I must tell you, then people don't want VAR. But then Mckenzie has done what he said he's going to do. I'm saying all these years, I'm a football fanatic. I'm a super fan. I follow football from the time I understood what it was about. From the time of Andy Jesus Karadziński, Professor Ngubani. I grew up with football. And the excuse now was there's no money for VAR. Now the money is here. South Africans must know the money is here. You know, I saw a penalty. A clear penalty. Absolute corruption at the highest order. Stellenbosch was denied a clear penalty. The man the ball didn't even touch the hand. He stops the ball with the hand. Stellenbosch get denied. That's corruption. That referee should be arrested, in fact. Should not be suspended. Corrupt? I'm saying it. How do you a referee and you don't give a penalty? That's corruption of the highest order. We can't have that. But I'm glad they're looking at our football and they're looking at the referees and they're looking at the behavior. South Africa is entering a new era. So VAR is for the next season. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. What was the question? Can you just repeat it briefly?
Oh, yes, in the Rugby World Cup. I think Team South Africa is ready. I told you earlier we are born ready. You know, we were, even I think 2000, the African Cup of Nations that we had, we've never applied for African Cup of Nations. The journalists must help me here, very. The last one, we were also standing in for a country. Yes, we stood in for a country. So we are super sub. We are ready to be the super sub again. It will not be the first time that we are doing this. And as you can see, GNU Yasebeta, the GNU is moving. We are very fast, very efficient. The GNU is the best thing to have happened to the country. The Springboks, that statement also broke my heart, but I made a meeting with them. It has become virtually impossible to host the Rugby World Cup with our current financial commitments needed. You cannot compete against America. But what we are saying is that let's give it another 2 or 3 years. We're fixing our balance sheet. We're getting more money from government. And maybe we'll talk. I love President Mark Alexander, but I think we will have a World Cup in our time. I don't want to say in my time because I can be reshuffled soon. But in our time, we must have a World Cup. I don't think we should think like they're thinking, that we will never have a World Cup. It's like saying we will never be able to afford. People's financial positions change. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Is this the last question, if I may ask? 3. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Ministers. Zolani here from 22 Hours. I just wanted to find out, regards to the performers, the artists, and the journalists, and the content creators that you're planning or identifying to go to the World Cup, like what's the plan around that, and how will the process go about?
You know what's the nice thing about being a minister and a deputy minister? You come up with a plan. You dream up a plan. Then you call your DJ, you're like, hey, DJ, I've got this brilliant plan, call the staff. Ask my DDGs. You got a brilliant plan. The poor staff must now come with a concept. Ask Mr. Ndima. I will come with a plan. Ask me Mandisa here. I'll come with a plan. And they must make it work. We are coming with the plans, and we want to make it work. So we told them what is our plan. They must now come and make sure that it's within the parameters of the law, that we have make budget provision for it, that it speaks to our APPs. That's their job. I've got a nice job with the DM. They're doing the tough part. So very soon, they will come out and say, maybe they want you to wear a turn-up, or they want you to, I don't know what will be the criteria. What will the criteria be? But we definitely want the vibe. You know, it was very embarrassing for me as the minister when I went to WAFCON, and I saw how Ivory Coast, the vibe Ivory Coast had at the World Cup, with the artists, with the singers, with the models, showcasing the clothes, the culture clothes. I mean, like South Africa, we must maintain, we mustn't be scared to say we are the top country in Africa. But you see, if you are the top country in Africa, you must remind people now and then, hey, I'm the top. So this will be one of those things where we show people why we are the top country in Africa. Have I answered you, sir? No, you can't say it's their timeline. We don't have time. The World Cup is 99 days from here. The staff is sitting here. The DG, Director General Stella Cynthia Kumal was here. She must make it happen. Like this is, what do they do?
Okay.
Yeah, this one. Yes, she's there. So with her, we just, myself and the DM, we just come with stuff and she has to make it happen. So on a more serious note, the staff will very soon announce what is the criteria to go. What do we expect of you when we go to the thing? Content creators. I went to a 1 billion content creator conference other day, reaching 1 billion people. And I saw they are also an extension of what the media is doing. They are media on their own. We want the people in the rural areas. We want young people. We want different communities to be able to get the message through to them. And we want all kinds of opportunities should this World Cup create? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi, Minister. Hi, Ministry. Apologize, I came late. My name is Tulani Gay. I'm in an inventing space, Minister. I think maybe you've been paying attention of what's been happening with South Africa for the past, I think, like 2 years from 2024 and 2025. We've reached the potential of 10.5 million visitors from around the world coming with tourism. I wanted to ask the ministry side, what are the measures and vetting processes for guys that are coming to South Africa from like promoters that are coming into the space? In December, most of the time in Cape Town, they take over all the eventing from the 27th, 26th until the 10th. They're coming in SA, and when it's time for South African promoters to host events, nobody's been given an opportunity like to host for a good time, maybe like until 12 o'clock. All events close at 10. My point to ask you as a department, can you guys maybe guide us on what can we judge all these guys that are coming in the country without like being vetted by the department?
You know, I'll give you the very uncomfortable answer. We live in a free country. We live in a capitalist country. The only way to beat them is to make sure your product is better. When they have an event, there's no cap on how many events you can host at one night. There can be 10 events in one night, but it must be the quality. But that's why we are here as government. You must approach us and say, can you assist me here so that I bring a better offering? But it's true what you are saying. Us now having a gig guide, basically, in the department, is to make sure that this type of people coming here, taking people's money, doing nonsensical events, want to cut all of that out. And while I'm at that, I forgot, we are having a meeting. We had a meeting with Transnet, with Prasa yesterday. We are having a meeting next week with the Premier of the province in Gauteng. We are having a meeting with stadium management. F&B is an accident waiting to happen. We need to fix what is happening at F&B. From ticketing, to traffic, to trains. It is an accident, it's a massacre waiting to happen. People go, I left my house at 1 a.m., 1 p.m. Where's blue lights? I came in a stadium 3 p.m. Now I ask myself, what about a person that left their house at the same time? So we want to make the rail, we want to open, we are going to speak to the minister. We want to speak to we meeting with the stadium management. We got to find a better way for this. It become tiring. People leave 10 minutes before the game because you're only stuck in traffic. That's not a way to watch football. That's not the way to watch football. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We do need to break for lunch. Minister and DM will be doing one-on-one sessions. I also just want to appraise colleagues in the media. Minister has mentioned briefly, Dr. Stella Kumalo is our Director General of the department that's present. DDG Vusitemba Ndima is from the heritage sector. We also have acting DDG Sibusiso Tsanyana from the arts sector. We have the DDG for sport, Vincent Campbell, and we also have the DDG for corporate services. They are the team that makes everything happen that Minister says. So we will break for lunch now, ladies and gentlemen. Minister and DM will take one-on-one sessions. If you are not going to have one-on-one sessions with the ministry, please have some lunch at the back. Thank you so much.
Take them to lunch. No, the other ones, they don't want questions. Take them to lunch.